Lucas and I were in Branson, Missouri, and we saw that Silver Dollar City is located in that exact spot. We were like, oh, that could be something fun to do. But then we saw that it's America's best theme park. Apparently.
I didn't know anything about Silver Dollar City, but for some reason I just assumed it was a little dinky place. But yeah, apparently it's a big deal.
With these big claims, I'm always thinking, did your brother-in-law just say this once when he was 2 shots deep? But no, this is actually backed by TripAdvisor.
This ain't a joke.
Wow.
We started this day not even knowing if we were going to Silver Dollar City. And then when we found out we were going, I thought it was a dinky place, like I said. But now my hopes are sky high.
Silver Dollar City opened on May 1st, 1960, and it's nestled in the Ozark Mountains. I gotta say, it's a beautiful scenery.
You know, usually when you go to a theme park, right across the street, you see a crappy motel and like all this industrial factories surrounding it. But this, it was literally just surrounded by beauty.
It seems like every theme park has a theme. This theme, well, duh, Jacob, it's a theme park. This theme park's theme is 1880s. Americana, Frontier Town, when people would use silver dollars. From my knowledge, it's just named that because that was part of that time period. Silver dollars.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. The whole time we were at this place, I thought it actually was made in the 1800s. When you said 1960, I was like, what? I feel doped.
One ticket to get into Silver Dollar City costs 92 silver dollars.
Oh, you have a great past ahead of you, is the slogan of Silver Dollar City. Sort of you're planning for the future, you know?
What I took it as is I am not going to die today because they're saying that I'm going to leave this park alive because I'm going to have a past.
Of course, it's fall, in case you didn't realize. So there were pumpkins everywhere in the entryway, even this Christmas tree-like structure of pumpkins.
We saw there was a country show going on, so we sat down.
We hadn't even been there for 30 seconds and we're already being entertained by live performers.
It was a good show, but we did leave after a minute.
Also, right by the stage, there were these people in character. In 1800s attire? Is that what it was?
They were having fake fights and stuff.
Oh, method acting.
There was a lot of woodwork. There was people blowing glass, which isn't that like an 1800s thing?
I remember reading some sort of fiction book growing up about it was all about like a girl and she blew glass.
It was surreal because I kept looking around thinking, so who's an actor and who's real? I didn't know what to believe.
They really immerse you in the whole world of Silver Dollar City.
Lucas told me that there's a church at this theme park.
Oh yeah, I'd never been to a theme park where there's a church. So I was like, we have to go. So it's the vibe of, okay, we're on vacation, let's have fun, but let's not forget about why we're here. The Lord.
If God is real, why not go to church before going on all these rides? So then hopefully he saves me from death.
Oh, that's true.
We realized that church wasn't for like 45 minutes. So walking into the church was enough for us on that day.
Planning on even if we went to a service, leaving after 3 minutes. And it was so small in there that it would have been kind of awkward to leave. So we couldn't stay for the service, obviously.
You know, theme parks always have random things like this. Spin the wheel of fortune. Smile. It improves your face value.
I know, you didn't even take the advice.
I was smiling the rest of the day, buddy.
Yeah, right. We were trying to look at our little map to figure out where we were going, but then we decided to just let the Lord guide us, you know, since we were in Silver Dollar City. Apparently it's all about the Lord. Like, let's let him guide us. And we came across the Powder Keg roller coaster, which I was excited by this right away because it showed this beaten up roller coaster that just was broken. And I was like, that's kind of a fun theme. Like, people are already scared to go on roller coasters, but then having the theme of the roller coaster be this roller coaster broke down and everyone died. Like, that's just fun. And it's called Powder Keg because is that how they made bombs back in the day? Put a bunch of powder in a keg and it blew up.
Oh, okay. I'll go on it. And I asked Lucas, do you want to go on it too? Knowing that he would definitely just say no.
I said no. I was like, maybe the next one.
So I went on it by myself and I got sat next to this dad guy. Have you noticed that's a thing with these roller coasters? Just to build up hype, they like stop for 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, you don't know when it's about to shoot off.
Zoom, it shoots up. It goes up and down a few times. I'm pretty sure it does some loops. It was definitely the most crazy roller coaster I've been on in a while. And that dad guy that I was talking about earlier was genuinely laughing like a kid. You never hear grown men genuinely laugh like they're kids, but he was giggling up a storm.
Oh my God, that's what I love about roller coasters. They just let people unleash their inner child, you know? What was your vibe on the roller coaster? Was it more like holding everything in, kind of like, or was it more like, ah?
Kind of putting my hands up and stuff, but I wasn't fully unleashing the demon yet.
You're belted back. I picture a belt around your whole body, and it was slowly getting loosened.
That's one of my worst fears.
Being in a straitjacket?
No, getting the seatbelt going loose.
Oh.
Stomach was tickling. I was on cloud 9. We continued walking around the theme park, and I started thinking, why does every theme park have this theme?
I know, it's always like this little old-timey town, a bunch of wooden houses. Maybe it's because we live in the Midwest, so that's sort of the aesthetic a lot of these theme parks around us have, but is that just everywhere?
I'm just thinking about Knott's Berry Farm even kind of has this aesthetic. So maybe no one copied anyone, and this aesthetic is just beloved by the American population.
Yeah, I could see that.
Next up was Barn Swing.
And I love how all of the rides had such a theme. I know every amusement park technically does this. I feel like they did it to another level, which was fun. Like there's genuinely a whole barn in front of the swing.
Yeah. We've all been on a ride like this. This one felt a little bit more intense. I wasn't ready for the amount of tickling I felt. It just felt like I was competing in those competitions from that one documentary like a decade ago where this rich guy hired a bunch of guys to be tickled, and it felt like I was part of that documentary. What is it called?
I think it's just called Tickled.
It just felt like I somehow got wrapped in that weird scheme that he was doing.
I felt so jealous watching you. Like, it just looked so much fun and just sad my fears held me back.
What are your fears?
No, my only fear is being strapped into a buckle. It's because of my past life. The psychic twins told me I was stuck in the bottom of a ship. And I still haven't invested in going to therapy to get past the trauma from my past life. If anyone has any advice on how to get past past life trauma, let me know. My past life was like really bad.
I feel bad for you just thinking about it.
But it actually was crazy walking through these fake little villages because there were actually so many little stores in them and there were so many employees. Like, it actually is its own little city. Usually when you go to these theme parks, it's these college age, high school kids working there and they don't really give a shit. They're sort of just phoning it in and they're like, we don't really care about this. We're here for the check. But when you go to Disney World or Silver Dollar City, the people working there, like, it's their whole career. They're so passionate about it and they actually love what they're doing. I love it.
Maybe they put like antidepressants in the water at Silver Dollar City, but our employees were just living it.
I know. It did not feel like a job. Like, they're just spreading joy, feeling joy. It probably is kind of a cult where they have to cut off their family and stuff, but they seem happy.
Yeah. Next up, I went on Fireball, which is a little free fall ride. You go up, you go down. It's a classic. This one wasn't that tall, and I always find these to be the most useless ride. So you go up, you go down, and then it goes up like 2 more times. It just feels so short and dumb. Now my question is, did you get any enjoyment from watching me on these rides? Because I was listening to the audio from these clips, and I heard you laughing a few times. So even though you were on the ride, did it feel like you were on the ride?
Wait, that's sort of like mukbangs. Like how people watch people eat so they feel like they're eating. That actually was me. Like, I just got joy from watching you on the ride. So yeah, it basically proves you don't have to do anything in life. Just watch other people do it. But what is that little house that you went in? Like, what is the theme? Is it a fire station?
Yeah, this was the fire station part of the park.
So you were supposed to be on like a fire station ladder? Is that like what the ride was? I don't really get it. So we'd been there for 2 hours or something. We were building up an appetite and excitement started filling the air because we knew lunch was around the corner. What fried dipped thing should we ingest?
This place had so many restaurants and little fast food joints. We decided to go to to Rivertown Smokehouse Big Boy Barbecue Place.
It's actually what they call it.
No, but that's what I refer to it as.
Big Boy Barbecue. That is what it is.
I got a turkey sandwich with beans.
I got half a chicken, I'm pretty sure.
Shit.
Yeah, and it came with 2 sides, so I got baked beans and macaroni. I also had a dinner roll.
Branson, Missouri is kind of in the South, and it felt like we were eating a Southern dish.
Oh, it did.
Words can't even express how excited we were.
I remember, yeah, when we sat down at that table, it was just pure happiness.
You could just tell it was pure happiness because we just kept repeating female rap lines.
Oh,
we would
yeah.
take a bite of the burger, take a bite of the chicken, and then one of us would say, I'm the best, best, best. It was back in 07, did its couple of takes. That's how you know you're having a good time, when you keep singing choruses and stuff to some of your favorite songs.
I know when female rap just pours out of you, you know you're in the right place at the right time. That's one of the signs of the universe letting you know that.
Something about Silver Dollar City made me ravenous, and I realized that I would have ate anything.
But we actually were having a good lunch. Like mine was just pure, I was gonna say unprocessed foods, but I guess kind of. It's half a chicken, beans are like kind of natural, and then macaroni, it's just like cow milk and noodles come out of the ground and seeds.
It was just what I needed to fuel my day.
No. And I had this giant Diet Coke with a little bit of lemonade in the top. It just all went together so well.
It just sucks looking back on it because this moment will never happen again. Maybe a moment similar will happen, but this moment will never happen again.
So if you think it's expensive to go to Silver Dollar City, you have to remember a big part of it is the live entertainment. So I was excited to hit up one of the shows. We went to the Saloon. I love how they make everything a moment. Like even before we even went into the Saloon, this girl came out and she was like in character getting us excited to go into the Saloon. The show is just about 3 floozies basically, right?
Then there was this host. He kept singing, "The joint is jumping," and it was just this vibe of everyone there was kind of like yelling the lyrics, and somehow they created this energy that was so good. And there was kind of a storyline. These like 2 uptight people came and they were trying to make the show better by adding magic and stuff.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the show, it kind of was just like, oh, we aren't gonna change the show.
Oh, yeah, I just loved the voices the showgirls did. Whenever they talked, it was like, "Hi, how y'all doing? Hey, how you doing? Hi." Like, wow, when we left that show, I was like, it was just so good. They're all so committed. Like, it was just great. And I also loved how it was only 30 minutes.
Totally agree. If a show's longer than 30 minutes, you should make everyone sign a contract before, because that's like a big commitment.
I know. Like, we all just want to see like a little 15-minute thing and then get out.
Honestly, I don't know what happened, but this guy said, "Do you want to use this scrub?" And then I said yes, but it felt like he popped out of nowhere.
They caught you and they got you in the little trap. And next thing you knew, your hands were being lubed up.
They were hyping up this hand scrub. It had like a bunch of oils in it.
Oh, yeah. He said it cures wounds faster than anything.
And then he washed it off and he said, "Don't dry your hands, pat them," because the oil apparently stays in your hands for like 3 days, he said.
Yeah. He said nurses love it. But I liked it because he didn't try so hard to pressure you to buy it. He said, "Okay, do you want it?" Like, and you said you would think about it, and he literally didn't push any further. Like, I thought it was going to be more of a annoying thing.
This place in general just had so many shops. I would honestly say 60% of the park is these random shops. They had a Christmas shop.
It wasn't like a bunch of little dinky things. It looks like they actually had high quality things. Like, didn't we see a fur rug or something that was over $1,000?
There was like random wooden spoons or pizza cutters. And it made me think previously in the park, we saw a man chopping wood. So I'm not completely sure, but maybe all of these goodies are actually made at the park.
I mean, maybe we haven't looked into this far enough and it's all from Shein and it's a whole show that they pretend it's made there. We don't know, but I'm just going to assume it's all made there.
Let's just say that 70% of the visitors on the day we went were senior citizens. With that in mind, I was thinking, oh, it makes sense why they have all these shops, because these senior citizens don't want to go on the roller coasters, I'm assuming. So they can just dilly-dally at these shops, watch some shows. Like, this theme park is kind of built for senior citizens. Tutti frutti. Ha ha ha, there's a talking bucket. It didn't talk back to me though, so they must hate me. Just like everyone else hates me, it seems like.
I've noticed everyone hates me too. Finally, I went on a ride. Grandfather's Mansion. Technically, it isn't a ride, but it is an experience attraction. It's like a little thrill house. I didn't even know, neither of us knew what to expect.
Thought it was a haunted house, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but right when I walked over this bridge thing, I started being like, okay, what's going on? Why do I feel like off balance? And I was looking around and I'm like, what is even causing this? And I was like, oh, I guess it's just like me going crazy or something. And I was like, okay, whatever. But then we went to the basement area and then I was like, okay, what is going on? Like both of us started feeling so off balance. Like for some reason, I thought it was like a magnetic thing. I was like, is this like some weird technology from the past that hasn't been used? Like some magnet thing that throws off your equilibrium or what is happening?
I just felt like I was gonna tip over. I don't get it. Are we just like slowly developing schizophrenia? Yeah. So we went in again
to investigate.
And then we realized that on that little bridge thing, it starts tilting like the whole house does, but you don't realize you're tilting. I don't really know how it works, but you don't realize you're tilting.
Fun, because like you don't actually realize what's happening the first time. But then when you really look closely, you see like, oh, it's all just moving. And like, yes, you would just assume that, but
honestly, this was one of my favorite rides, and I'm not joking.
Yeah, we actually even went back into the house like later in the day. We were like, let's go back to Grandfather's Mansion. Like, we just loved it.
I would say this was the glue of the whole entire day that kept us sane.
Oh, I know.
We were enjoying stuff together. It wasn't just Jacob goes on a ride, Lucas watches. So I kind of turned into a therapist. I was like, Lucas, what else do you want to do that comfortable with that won't make you uncomfortable? And then he said, I'll go on the railroad.
The train. Yeah, just a basic ass train. But then it turns into a whole show. Like they stop the train and they say, I actually believed it at first. The train conductor was like, wait, why is the train slowing down? And then he was like,
you didn't believe it.
No, I kind of did because I was like, oh, maybe we're breaking down.
Oh,
but then he said, some bandits are here. And like these people pretended they wanted to rob the train.
And it went so far that the train conductor brought a fake gun with him. And I was a little bit scared because I was like, is this going to turn into like an Alec Baldwin thing where I think it's a prop gun and then it's a real gun and like someone dies and like we're involved in the murder, so you have to stay in Branson, Missouri for like the next year and do court and stuff.
Their little skit went on a little bit too long though, because it got to the point where it's like, okay, we've been stopped for 20 minutes. Like, I kind of want to get off.
But it seems like it's a classic thing for an amusement park to have a train that goes around the whole amusement park.
Yeah, definitely.
Time traveler. This is one of the newest roller coasters.
Oh, you can tell because like they really like went all out with the theme with this one. Clocks everywhere and shit.
This one really reminded me of like a Disney World type thing because it was so themed. They even had these little fake characters doing audio the whole time. Oh my gosh, we discovered the new thing to time travel. Just like dumb shit like that. Knew I was in for a ride because the cult you're in can spin.
Oh, that is when it's fun. But I obviously didn't go on this one either.
Here's the thing though about this roller coaster and the previous ones I went on. These ones fully wouldn't scare you because they don't have the over the head strap. I feel like the over the head strap for me is when it gets to a point where like, this is actually scary because I'm actually stuck. But then this is just the waist one, but you still didn't want to go on it. I get it.
Yeah, but I still waited in line with Jacob and pretended like I was going to go on it because Silver Dollar City, since it's in the middle of a forest, you can't see any of the roller coasters unless you're in line. You know how usually when you walk to the amusement park, you see all the roller coasters around you? This one, they're all hidden.
It just is weird because you kind of don't even know what you're getting into. This one had a bunch of drops. It honestly was so fun.
What?
This is another thing that a lot of roller coasters do. They pause in the middle to create hype, like I said, and then they go off again. This one did that.
Oh, so all of a sudden you think, oh wait, is it broken? Is it over? And then it shoots off and starts round two.
Yeah. We kind of made it a goal to go on every roller coaster. And I'm saying we because like Lucas essentially basically did go on the roller coaster with me because he watched it.
Yeah, same thing.
Next up was Outlaw Run, which is a wooden roller coaster. And wooden roller coasters are my favorite roller coasters. I just love how they actually feel like it's gonna break at any moment.
Rickety. But this is a new age wooden roller coaster? Like, isn't this kind of new when it won all these awards?
That's what's funny is that when I think of these wooden roller coasters, I think this was built in 1970, but it was actually just built in 2013.
It's a wooden roller coaster that goes upside down. I've never even heard of that.
Oh, it did the classic thing. You know, every wooden roller coaster starts with you going up slowly and then it goes straight down.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it did that whole thing, classic. Oh my gosh. It did a swivel thing. So you know how most roller coasters, when they go upside down, it's a big loop? This was more of like when you're peeling an apple and it does those little tiny loops.
Oh, a little McTwist.
This just satisfied the craving in my house for a wooden roller coaster. Whoa, mommy. I was like, okay, let's go on another ride. But then Lucas kept mentioning the cinnamon bread, and I was like, okay. Then we walked past the cinnamon bread place, and I got on his wavelength because it says world famous cinnamon bread.
This was on my bucket list from the second we got there because I saw a billboard for this cinnamon bread. And I was like, this has to be so good then. There's a billboard for Silver Dollar City. They aren't even showing roller coasters or anything. They're just showing cinnamon bread. I almost got scared because Jacob was like, you have to buy a whole loaf though. Maybe we shouldn't do it. And then I was like, no, I'll eat half a loaf. It'll be fine.
So we paid the $10 or whatever, got the loaf, and I knew it was a good sign because it was warm. It just makes me want to punch someone in the face when you go to a bakery and nothing's warmed up.
I know, it's like, girl, that ruined everything. Put it in the effing microwave.
I know. So I took my first bite. Whoa, this is kind of a cotton candy type thing. It was melt in your mouth.
Oh yeah, it was the perfect hard exterior, gooey inside, cinnamon galore.
Basically a cinnamon roll, but I would say it's even better than a cinnamon roll because every part of it was goo.
Gooey, ooey, gooey, mushy, mushy, wet and gushy.
Yeah. This is so embarrassing. We ate the entire thing.
I know, Jacob was worried.
Oh my gosh, we aren't gonna finish the whole thing. Nope, we finished it.
But I feel like these little cinnamon breads do cause a lot of stress and different parties because I saw this wife and husband, I'm assuming, next to us, and I could kind of see they were stressed about splitting it. And then we saw this other couples with a cinnamon bread, and I could tell that they were all stressed, like, because you always know one person's gonna get the bigger side. Like,
People get in fights over this
I know,
shit.
that's what's scary. If something is so good, it can cause fights.
Lucas kept saying that he would maybe go on these water rides. So I kept waiting like, okay, when are you gonna go on them? But then he finally admitted, I'm not gonna go on them. So then I was like, I guess I'll go on these water rides by myself.
Oh yeah, it literally wasn't even out of fear because you aren't even buckled in these ones. It was just because I didn't want to get wet. I just knew if I was walking around ass wet, socks wet, crotch wet, I would have been so mad.
This one is called American Plunge. It looked fun. It had that straight down thing. So I got in the log raft and I was the only one on it because you could probably already tell by watching the footage, but we went on the perfect day. No lines. We could literally do whatever we want and it only took like 2 minutes to go on each ride. Anyway, I was on the raft by myself. They had these little fake stories. This is always a classic thing with these amusement parks. They have these decorations of like old-timey 1800s people that live in a town and they get in fights.
Oh,
and they have them
yeah.
do little voiceovers. And then I went in this dark tunnel for like 3 minutes and that part wasn't fun. I wasn't freaking out because I saw light at the end of the tunnel, but I just hate being in these little dark areas. It ended and then you go up this little thing and I knew the drop was about to happen. I was scared because I was the only person on this raft. Is it actually even safe for me to go on myself? Like, couldn't me being in the front of the raft make it do a full tip and I just literally die?
That does seem like it could be a possibility though.
But thankfully it didn't happen.
Oh, you got splashed. I think I remember being a kid and like peeing on these rides.
Ew. I wouldn't be surprised if I was sitting in urine. This was the part of the day where I just started being stinky. My shoes actually smelled like shit because they were soaked in this gross ass water. I swear they only clean this water once every 2 years.
I know, Jacob smelled like a Cheeto.
It's so disgusting. Right next to WildFire, so that was the next ride we were gonna go on. This was on Wikipedia. It is themed as a flying machine developed by a fictional 1800s Ozark inventor. So there's like a full-on fake story behind this roller coaster. I didn't notice it.
So it was supposed to be like you're in a little flying contraption?
Yeah, that this 1800s Ozarks inventor made.
Oh, that's kind of fun. I like that.
This was like my 4th or 5th roller coaster of the day, and I decided that these types of roller coasters to me are just too basic. I've been on too many roller coasters like this. All of them are the exact same, and the reason why I don't really mess with them is because they're way too smooth. So yes, you're going upside down, but it's so smooth that you don't even feel anything.
Yeah, it isn't rickety enough.
So I'm sorry to say, but this one just wasn't it for me. I've already been on this ride is what I thought, even though I hadn't been on this ride until this moment.
Also, you went on like such fun new ones before this that like this one just is obviously going to be kind of shitty. Time to take that pig to the back of the shed and shoot it.
No one is talking about this, but I looked in this little hole at Silver Dollar City, and I swear I saw Mary from the Bible.
Bloody Mary? Like the Virgin Mary?
The Virgin Mary. This ride was closed early on the day, but now it was open. It's called Thunderation. It's a wooden roller coaster. Now thinking back to it, I was pretty brave for going on it because an hour before it was closed, and I always just assume when a ride is closed, when the amusement park is open, something got loose or something and they're fixing it.
Like they hurried and just hot glued a few parts together.
Yeah, because they didn't want people to be mad. Why isn't this ride open?
I know.
I adore wooden roller coasters, as I said, but this one was a little too much, and I just checked, and this is the oldest roller coaster, and it's from 1993.
It's as old as me.
Isn't it weird that their oldest roller coaster is only from 1993? I thought they would have at least one original roller coaster, but no, the oldest one is from 1993.
That further goes into them being the #1 theme park. Like they're always updating it.
This wooden roller coaster was just too much. Like I swear my body ached after going on it. When I'm going on a ride, I want to have fun. I don't want to get beat up. And this ride just literally beat me up.
There's more of a BDSM energy.
Yeah. This was probably the first ride where I was like, I don't like it.
Oh no.
This ride though, we had been hyping up all day. Lucas said maybe I'll go on it, but then of course he's just joking or whatever, doing a kick or I don't know, but he said no, I'm not gonna go on it. Mystic River Falls, which is one of those iconic river rafting rides. So much rough water.
It seems like this is a new modern version of that though. Like just seeing the sign for it with all that waterfall behind it, Mystic Springs, like you could just tell like, okay, this is gonna be like a really innovative one, and it had this whole elevator contraption that lifted up the entire raft. Like this was some science stuff. Some chemistry was involved.
Sister, what? Yeah. When I was walking up to the ride, I kind of realized, wait, shit, I'm gonna have to go with other people. Roller coaster, it's like go with another person, who cares? The roller coaster just starts. But when you have to go with other people on rides like this, it's more of a moment because it lasts way longer, and it kind of feels like, oh, supposed to talk to each other,
yeah,
I
you're
guess.
facing each other too.
Yeah. So I got sat down with this dad, 2 of his sons or something, and I didn't even talk one word the whole time. I just laughed.
What was the elevator like?
So I thought it was gonna be freaky deaky, but it actually was just so smooth. It just went up, boom. So it starts out with like 3 minutes of that river rafting stuff. You get splashed, oh my gosh. Then you go on the elevator, and this is the most fun part. You go down this slide, and it was aimed perfectly. Well, I'm pretty sure I got the most splashed out of anyone in the river raft or whatever. It just is weird because it definitely is true that if you commit to being dirty, feeling just miserable and stuff. What I mean by feeling miserable, I'm talking about your skin. Like when you literally want to cut your body open and exit the bodysuit. I'm not talking about mentally.
Oh.
That's how I felt, but this is what's weird, is that when you feel miserable in your body and just all this stuff, you actually become happier because you're just like, I don't even care anymore. Like, if there was a ride where it was just a bunch of mud and you act like you're a pig and you put on a pig suit, I probably would have done it because I already felt disgusting.
You get most of the mental pain from the buildup, thinking, I don't want to get dirty, I don't want to get dirty. But then that's the pain. But then once you actually get dirty, it's just freedom. Wait, this was about the time where we decided to take advantage of some more live entertainment. We got out the little fake newspaper for Silver Dollar City, looked at the schedule, and we saw there were some promising shows coming up. There was a pianist show. A pianist performed, and we were like, okay, let's go see that. Let's see what he has to offer. It was some Australian chameleon man, he was doing it. They are loving every second of it. They aren't phoning it in at all. Passion is the piano. They're so good at it. They're so charismatic, and they're just having fun up there.
Piano music you hear at like some fancy dinner. But no, this was like actually entertaining. And then he did this thing where he said, okay, this song is one of the hardest songs to play. And he played it, and there was a joke because smoke was coming out of the piano. He was able to play that song, so then the piano broke. But it was just a joke because it was just a smoke machine.
He played that piano hard.
Then he did like characters. He acted like a pirate or something.
He was doing a bunch of movie themes. He did the Harry Potter theme, the Star Wars theme. He had a Star Wars hat on. And then he did Pirates of the Caribbean, so we went into the pirate moment. But then we actually had to dip because we had to make it to another show.
This was a comedy magic show.
I know, I was so excited. I was like, what will the comedy be like? This has to be family friendly. And I feel like that's one of the most hard comedies to do. It's so easy to go to an adult comedy show and say, boobs, tits, motorboat, dick, and everyone says, oh my God, it's so funny and edgy. But he actually had to say stuff that was family friendly, you know? Wasn't the typical family comedian you'd expect. Like, you know, you kind of just picture a clown person. He was more of like a self-deprecating, like he kind of gave the vibe that like he hated his life and he hated himself, but that was all the character, you know?
Yeah, like it wasn't so over the top. So it started out with like him bringing 2 cups out, and then he somehow turned those 2 cups into 10 cups. I don't really understand how these magic people do it, but somehow they do magic. Okay. This was actually so weird. I don't even get how he did it, but he turned a bowling ball into a balloon. It's actually funny because, so the joke was he had a bowling ball in his hand, and he actually proved it was a bowling ball, and then he threw it into the audience, but then it turned into a balloon, and me and Lucas both actually stepped back because we thought we were gonna get hit in the face with a bowling ball.
I know, I thought it was this silver dollar city performer, like finally, like he was having a breakdown and he actually was gonna injure the audience with a bowling ball, but it was just magic.
Houdini!
I know, and then he even had like a sentimental moment. It's about his story, so I'm not gonna just tell it to the internet, but like it's his story to tell, and if you want to hear it, go to his show.
But also motivational. He was basically telling all of us, live the life you want to live. We forgot to talk about the most important part of the show, though. He hypnotized us, and we might still be hypnotized and not know it.
That was so weird. He had a little spinning wheel, the classic hypnosis tool. And like, I don't know how I have never seen this trick before, but you look at the wheel and then he moves the wheel away and you look at his head and his head gets bigger.
Both of these shows were A's to me. Like, I would just picture the shows to be little shitty shows, but I don't think they're shitty shows. God bless. Oh my gosh, another ride for both of us to enjoy. A swinging bridge.
Oh yeah, it was so fun, but there are all these signs saying don't swing it, but it's like, oh, it's called the swinging bridge.
It's only fun if you jump, and it said not to jump, and it's
I
like,
know.
I am gonna jump because that's the only way to make it fun.
I know, I'm obviously gonna swing it too.
But I do have to say, if you're a swinging bridge person, probably the best swinging bridge is at the Henry Dolly Zoo. You go on a swinging bridge, alligators right under you.
I know,
So
and
it's
then
so scary.
If you touch the railings, your hand smells so bad.
Oh, because it's in this little
Humid jungle area.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I almost didn't go on the newest roller coaster. 2024. Fire in the Hole. This was in like the fire station part of the theme park.
This had such a Disneyland, Disney World energy.
So you go into a building and that's when the theme starts. You're just immersed into this like world of like fires and small town 1800s people.
So what's it about? Like just buildings starting on fire?
Yeah, it was a bunch of like statues of these small town people, and then they do the classic thing of they're doing voiceover saying like, get out of my house, and then I'm pretty sure something like a fire starts, and it's a very calm roller coaster. So many kids were on it, and like the most crazy thing that happened was like a 3-foot drop, if even. It was definitely one of those roller coasters where you're not on it for the thrill, you're just on it for this little like fake story. Oh my gosh, there's a fire happening.
Fire in the hole!
I didn't enjoy it, but like I could totally understand like little kids like being, oh my gosh, so much fun. This is about when a whole new section of the theme park opened. I didn't even realize it, but we were completely missing this section of the theme park. But it was around 6 o'clock, and I guess this pumpkin fest thing starts. So they open this whole other part of the theme park that has a bunch of little kid rides like teacups and stuff.
There was a dance party going on.
And it wasn't just people dancing, creating a dance party. I think it said on the schedule, dance party at 6 o'clock in the pumpkin part of the park.
Some people were getting lit in there. Dinner time. After eating half a loaf of cinnamon bread, we were starting to get really hungry. So luckily dinner was right around the corner. And we both knew we wanted a bunch of fried type stuff. The plan was to get corn dog, pizza, maybe some ice creams. And I also wanted this little potato spiral thing that was on a stick. So we started out that plan by getting pretzel dogs. But then once we got there, we decided to get pretzel jalapeno sausage dogs with nacho cheese.
It's home of the world famous pretzel dog.
And there was a girl there was a pilgrim girl in there rolling the dough.
This was just classic. Reminded me so much of a movie theater.
It smelled like popcorn, but it was sad because my very first bite, I dipped it in the nacho cheese. The second it hit my mouth, I knew it was the wrong decision. I was like, this is just disgusting. Like, I don't even like pretzels. That's a thing. I know that I don't like pretzels, but for some reason I thought these would be different. This is horrible.
I would say I enjoyed half of it, but then the other half, it just got to a point where it was I'm talking about way too much.
I know.
Sodium. Way too much salt.
I know, and for me to say something's too salty, you know it crossed a level that most people don't want to go to. I can handle my salt. But obviously I still ate the whole thing.
We had huge plans. We were like, let's get a hot dog, let's get pizza, maybe even get some potato chips. Then after we both finished this, those plans might as well have just been shot in the head because both just were like, I'm over food. Like, I don't want anything savory. When you have that salty of food, the only thing to cure it is a soda.
We had to chug a few sodas, for sure. I love how we're talking about how we were so full, but then you see us with ice cream here. When you go to a certain amount of sodium, you need to switch it back with something so sweet. And then I saw there was pumpkin soft serve ice cream cones, and I knew, even if I was literally gonna throw up from the first bite because I was so full, I had to eat this.
You had to be there because the lady that was making these cones, I don't know if she's just the best method actor out there, felt like she was enjoying making the cones so much. I don't know how somehow she manifested this energy where it actually felt like an angel was making my cones.
I know. I remember when she handed those pumpkin cones to us and I could tell that they were so beautifully swirled and she just had a smile on her face like she truly wanted us to enjoy it.
It was so good, but it was also so weird because the ice cream didn't feel like ice cream. It more just felt like a frozen pumpkin pie in a blender.
Yeah, it was like a weird ice texture. It wasn't creamy or milky at all, but I loved it. It was like, yeah, this whole other thing, like sludge, like mud, kinda.
Yeah, it was mud ice cream, and I'm a fan of mud ice cream.
No, I want it right now.
Please. It was starting to get dark out, and as we all know, theme parks become so much more fun when it's dark out.
Yeah, everyone turns into a freaks.
I decided to go on Powder Keg again, which was the first roller coaster I went on. This was the most crazy roller coaster I had ever been on. I need to see if I go on it again, will I feel that?
You had some character development throughout this video. The first time you went on it, you said you were holding back, you were belted up. Then I remember you telling me after you went on it the second time, you said I was laughing so loud, screaming.
And my hands were in the air. And I do have to say, this ride is so much fun, but it wasn't as fun as the first time just because I was so used to all the thrills. But the reason why I enjoyed the roller coaster more when it was dark is because no one could see me. It just felt like I was in my own little world. So it was kind of fun how like I just felt like I was totally by myself. As you have probably noticed, I have only been going on the crazy thrill rides. I haven't been on any of these little
dinks.
Yeah, little cupcake rides. Lucas was kind of hyping up this ride, so I was like, I'll go on it, even though it honestly doesn't look that fun.
Yeah, it's kind of just a county fair ride.
It's called the Electro Spin.
Kind of in like a horse stance.
Straddling the seat, then this thing comes up from behind and like pushes your back against, like it pushes you in, but I just didn't like the position because it also was kind of bad because I had to go pee and it kind of made the pee feel like it was about to come out at any moment.
I just realized, how did this not squish your balls? Like they're making you rest your ball sack on a thing as you're swinging around? Like did it hit your balls?
I wouldn't know because I got a vasectomy and the doctor did a bad job and cut off both my balls.
Oh, I forgot about that. Sorry, you can cut this out.
This ride wasn't thrilling after going on all those roller coasters. It just felt dumb as a bag of rats.
Thinking about this ride kind of pisses me off for some reason. It's like, why are they straddled? What is this? Is so stupid. Blow it up.
Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. In case you were wondering, at this point of the night, the dance party was getting pretty crazy.
It just proves other people are like you. Like once it gets dark out, people's masks go away. They feel like no one can see them and they let loose.
As I said, I just loved going on these rides at night, so I decided to go on one of my favorite rides, the Time Traveler, again. And it was pitch black out, so I totally forgot the ride literally starts with a drop. So when that drop happened, it was even more insane because it was darker and I didn't expect it.
Whoa!
Yeah, this probably hasn't happened in like 5 years, but it happened and I was like, oh my gosh, it feels like a reminiscing moment. Being on a roller coaster at night and music is playing through your head and you kind of feel like you're in a music video. It was just so cool because I actually felt like a kid again because the music was playing in my head. These visions were in my head. Yes, the roller coaster is fun, but I would say what's even more fun than the roller coaster is the music and the visions in my head.
The park didn't close for like another hour at this point, but it was starting to get so vacant that it kind of seems scary to go to different parts of the park because there's literally no one there. Like, it just started to feel creepy.
We had spent like 10 hours at Silver Dollar City, apparently America's best theme park. Me and Lucas have not been to every amusement park in America yet. But with that being said, we will give our thoughts.
To me, it actually was the #1 theme park that I've been to just because of the live performance aspect. Like, what other theme park in America do you get actual world-class performers, you know, that are giving it their all and like, and it's so immersive. Just the whole thing was amazing. It just was beautiful.
I think it is an amazing theme park. And now that I'm thinking about it, the best theme park that I've been to too. They have so much happening. Shows are excellent. The rides are excellent. And even though I hated before by saying, why does every amusement park have this theme? I'm gonna say that this amusement park from the ones I've been to does the theme the best. That whole old time mining town 1800s.
Yeah, 100%.
We can both agree that this is the best theme park in America that we've been to. Yeah.